Hey, friends,
and welcome to Fren Talk Podcast with your host, Cicely and
Shamika.
Two country girls from way down south, West Memphis, Arkansas to be exact, who happen to be friends and
911 dispatchers.
Since we all have the same basic needs and are all on similar journeys, sometimes it just helps to have a friend to talk to about the everyday issues that plague us all.
We're not therapists or self-help gurus, but we hope that by opening up real conversation, we can all find some common ground and a safe space to heal,
share, and build toward future greatness.
So come on.
Let's jump into today's topic.
Let's go.
We ready, honey? Hey, friends, and welcome back or welcome to Fren Talk Podcast with your host, Cicely and
Shimko. That's what I call myself.
Shamika, y'all. Anywho, all right, y'all. So this one is a little heavy today. We're going to jump right in.
Let's go.
Okay. We've told y'all heard it on the intro. Y'all, we from the dirty South, okay? The South.
What's wrong?
The dirty. And we happen to be from the Bible Belt, okay?
Yeah.
So we're extremely familiar with religious people. We also have sense enough to know that we might lose a few subscribers. And hey, if we lose them for telling the truth, then that's okay.
We shouldn't lose them for this.
We shouldn't. I mean, hey, because we're all about conversation and transparency and bring certain situations to life. Y'all see Mika's wine is a lot lighter than mine.
I'm sipping this morning.
She got a light skin wine.
This new, she don't drink this kind.
No, I don't drink that.
It's like real proof.
Right. Yeah. But we thought it fitting to have a little communion.
Well, I'm
kidding. Okay, but for real, y'all, again, like I said, we live in a Bible Belt, but it is so much controversy, I think, around this subject for a lot of people because it is so possible to love God and really get perturbed with some of his people.
Yes. Yes. In my head, though, friend, I was thinking about in the mirror. I love God. You don't love God, but I had to come back. But you can get perturbed with these people.
You can definitely get perturbed. But yeah. So if y'all tuned in for this one, y'all, let's just get ready for the ride.
Let's take you to church.
We finna take you to church. I don't know if it's the church you want to go to, but come on and go with us, y'all. Okay, so my question.
Go ahead.
Is why are Christians so mean? Or people who, proclaim or profess Christianity and to know God and to have relationship with God are some of the coldest, most
judgmental, rude,
nasty people.
They
y'all.
are.
And it's not, a knock against Christianity. It's not a knock against the church itself.
No, it's not.
Because we know that the church is comprised of people. But we talk about everything with y'all. This ain't going to be no different. Okay?
No, it's not.
But I feel like this. A lot of Christians or so-called Christians develop a certain sense of entitlement. Almost they feel like they're the chosen ones. So a lot of Christians feel like they have the right to look down on other people. They'll talk about people that come in church that don't have church etiquette instead of showing
teaching
love.
Them. Instead of teaching them, showing them, because maybe they've never been to church, never grew up in the church. They don't know how to come to church or present themselves. So instead of talking about them, bring them under your wing and show them what to do. Show them what you do, you know, or how to come to church, how to dress, talk, whatever. Instead of talking down on them. Like she said, they do feel entitled.
They do.
If you expect they've been there all their life, I grew up in the church. I did it. Everybody didn't grow up in the church.
Everybody
so they don't know.
And growing up in the church is not a requirement for heaven.
No.
Growing up in church is not going to get you another star in your crown.
Not going to get you front row seats.
Yeah, it's not. And I think it's sad that in the world we live in, we turn on the news, every single day, and we hear about tragedy after tragedy, and the one place that people go to find solace and to be in relationship or to try to get a closer walk with God be the very place that a lot of people go to.
The Lord.
Yeah, that so many people have experienced so much hurt in the church. And this is not a knock to God or a certain religion.
We're talking about the people.
The people.
It really ain't got nothing to do with the church. It's more so the people of the church who make it up. Because you got a lot of great people that go to church. You got a lot of great Christians, a lot of people that are serious about their walk. And they do all that. But then you got the ones that are so judgmental, anything you do is wrong, nothing's right, but they can turn around and do the same thing that they just judged you for or condemned you for. But they want forgiveness for what they did.
Y'all see Sizzle and Mika podcast, they doing all that cussing on there, and you doing it behind closed doors.
Listen, I told y'all before, cussing in the Bible. Now, I told y'all that.
Fren, you told
we ain't got to
them
revisit it, but
you
I'm
told
just
them
saying.
this shit was in the Bible. That's not in the Bible.
I said because, and I'm going to repeat this, the cows shat. That's in the Bible.
S-H-A-T?
Yeah, shat.
Fren, don't
You got to
say-
put it like
it's
that.
not.
Like
It's
they
not in
said,
the
thy,
Bible.
shat, and stuff like that. But it's in the Bible. Everybody do it. Damn in there. Hell in there.
It is, but you know what I'm saying more or less is that we got to stop judging people
We do.
if we not loving them, you know, at the same time. But a lot of the people that have been in church their whole life feel like I'm here, I'm getting in heaven on the fact that I present here every Sunday. And that's my problem with, as much as I love God and I believe the Bible from Genesis to Revelation, I always tell y'all, don't judge anybody who's a part of any religion. If you are a better person because of that religion, or you treat people better, or you know, it brings some positive changes to your life, I'm all for it. Believe whatever you believe. I believe in God.
But some people believe that just because they go to church all the time, that
They
they are
on their
Christians.
way in.
They on them. That's just some people go out of habit.
And that's the thing, a ritual. That's
Yeah,
what
that's
I mean
what it
when I
is.
say ritual.
Right.
You used to
Yes.
getting up on Sunday
That's just
to
something
get
you
dressed
do.
for church, but you're not. But when you show up to your job on Monday, you all but cussing folks out.
Right. But doing everything under the sun. But you know, Sunday morning,
Everything.
you got to go to church. I don't care how late you stay out Saturday night. You know, Sunday, you got to go to church because it's just part of your ritual. Like Sis says, part of your life. It's your
ritual.
routine.
And
Don't
that's
make
my
you no better
problem,
than
I think,
nobody else.
with religion. I don't like the fact that people get so comfortable saying, you know, I'm a member of this church, and it's almost like you praise a pastor or you make your pastor your God.
Yes.
But I'm a member at this church, and but is that making you a better person? But how are you treating people beyond you going to church on Sunday?
Tell us.
And a lot of the people become so close with the pastor, they got these cliques in church, and you a top tither, so nobody can tell you anything. Nobody checks you or holds you accountable because, you know, you get a pass.
Because you got a bigger wallet than mine. That ain't right. That's not right.
Yeah, and we're just talking about what we see. We're not making up anything. We're just talking about what we see.
And again, we're just talking about the people of it, not the actual church. None of that. It's the people that make it up. You know? I ain't talking about your pastor. I don't even know your pastor. I'm just talking about people that I know.
And I feel like religion in and of itself, like I said, you believe whatever you believe, but I feel like it can be divisive. You know, you got people going to, well, I'm Kojic, or I'm this, or I'm that, or you look down on another denomination because, you know, I'm this or I'm that.
True.
Is any of that really going to get you through the gates?
It ain't. I'm still
It's
praying
just
I
a
got my
question.
seat. But
Yeah, I need one. I got to work on a few things.
as old folks said, Lord know my heart. I might not go every Sunday. He know me though. I do right. I try to do right. I cuss though, Lord. I do that.
And we just want to normalize conversation, okay, around any subject, because if we can't talk, how we going to grow? How are we
not
going to
gonna
become better? How are we going to
not.
get better if we're not talking about and addressing things? And I like I say all the time, I'm Black. I've never been anything else. I don't know anything about anything else. I'm talking about Black people
True.
in the church. We are so ugly to each other. And outside of the church, that's my main concern, because you can go to church every Sunday, and that's fine to show up, you dressed up in your Sunday frock, and then some young lady, your Sunday frock, your Sunday best, and some young lady walked through the door, and she happens to have on not what you consider church attire. It's too short, or it's, you know, a little.
You know, I was brought up,
fitted.
your arms don't be out up in church.
Yeah, we were brought up, you know, back in the day.
Right. Your
So
arms don't be out of church.
a lot of things were different. You know, if a young lady did happen to come in church with clothes on that were too small, people didn't sit and
They will pull them to like they'll
they
talk
will,
to them.
yeah, they'll pull you to the side. And if you were at the right kind of church, they were going to give you something long enough to put on.
And
it was
remind
not
you for next time.
Yeah, or sweetheart, and out of love, you just tell people, hey,
Yeah.
there is a standard here, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I feel like, it's elders' job to teach the people that don't know.
But the elders ain't the same anymore.
They're not.
So it's different. But I'm going to say this. I've seen a lot of young people really get into church. And for me, they all about fashion and looks. And I be seeing them.
Or status, friend.
Right. In the church. You going to church. You ain't got to be GQ to go to church. They act like church is fashion show, runway. The church for them is somebody's club on Saturday night. Is what the church is for them. And
it's a social gathering.
That's like an almost Christian. You enter the church, but you ain't into the church for the word. You going to show off, and you going to, for the look of it.
You going for the look.
You're not going for the word.
And it becomes just a ritual that you're doing.
Yes.
It's not that it's pure. It's not that it's from your heart. Because the people that are attending the church are actually supposed to be the hands and feet of God on the earth. So
True.
While you're sitting in your churches, who have you ministered to for real? Who have you helped? Who have you, reached out to in honesty and sincerity just to show some kindness to people?
It
rarely happens anymore.
How we came up in the church, we still fairly young, but we still were an old school church, and it was more of a family unit back when we were young. It was a family unit. If you did something wrong, anybody in the church would tell you that you did this wrong, or they'll fix it or whatever. It's just not like that no more. It's not like she said. It's more about status.
It's more about the social.
Right. It's not about getting the word.
And that's not every church, y'all. Let's be clear. I'm not saying every church. I'm not saying every denomination. I'm not saying.
If you feeling the way, it might be yours.
It might be you. It might be your church.
It might be yours. But we just saying. But
yeah, we ain't talking about nobody in particular. We just saying what we saying.
Yeah. What we see. People taking pictures every Sunday before going to church with these fancy outfits on, or this, that, and the third. That's like when we go out.
Yeah, before or after, and then you leave the same way you went in there.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of us going to the club. Yeah, you done took this picture and posted it. Instead of saying headed out or to the club, headed to the Lord. You know what I'm saying?
It's the same.
Me and God got a date. They're gonna give you
a good
caption. Go to church.
Yeah, just go to church. Just go to church. But a lot of so-called Christians feel like they can behave badly and still be forgiven. They've been in church all their life, so they hear, you repent. And
they got a little leeway than the other folk who don't go to church.
Exactly. Yeah. And then you get in the mode of saying, oh, well, that's just sister so-and-so, so-and-so. That's how she is. Let me tell you something, sister so-and-so. Stop. Your church member, your clergy might not be able to tell you.
But I can't.
But you're ugly out here.
It is.
The way you treat people. And y'all, like I said, it extends beyond what pew you sit on Sunday. When you show up at your job, or you bypass people on the interstate or in the grocery store, and you never have a kind word to say, or you always on guard and you ready to snap. I'm talking about the deaconess.
Not deaconess.
The deaconess or the first lady or whoever. Y'all are some of the nastiest people. This day and time. I never seen anything like this. I'm talking about some people that I see on the job. Y'all nasty.
They are.
And y'all talk about, and y'all brag about who church y'all a member of. Your pastor ought to be ashamed.
Don't make the pastor look bad.
And you make yourself look bad because you're the one who claim Christianity. But y'all really make it out of a joke these days. And it's a lot of people that don't even care to show up on Sundays anymore. The pandemic showed us a lot.
It did. And then if I can worship from home and I ain't got to go through all of the hustle and bustle and all that negative stuff, I'd rather worship from home.
Yeah, I'd rather be in fellowship.
But no, I'm saying the people I think, who want to go through that stuff, the negative and all of this, they just rather sit at home.
Well, that's why a lot of people opt to stay home because they get tired of showing up, and the same people get away with the same things because, they buddy with the pastor, or, they're a giver, and because they don't want to lose them dollars, they ain't gonna say nothing to Sister So-and-so. Sister Guinevere been mean her whole tenure here.
You just gonna come up with that name? What black woman?
Sister Guinevere.
Guinevere, you threw me with the... Okay. Well,
But
she ain't lying about
nasty.
Sister Guinevere.
Yeah, she's mean. She don't know how to talk to people. Even if you're an usher, I've encountered some of the nastiest usher. Give me that gum.
What you said one of them in my church? I ain't gonna say that. If my family watching this, y'all know exactly who I'm talking about.
That's mean, ma'am.
But I give it a gum.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to you because number one, I'm not gonna make myself look bad.
I'm gonna respect you.
And I'm gonna be respectful always.
But I'm gonna go tell my grandma when I'm done.
But it's a better way to talk to other adults, y'all.
It is.
It's a better way. And then how are you saying that you love God, but you don't know how to treat his people? I can't take y'all serious. A lot of y'all. Not all of y'all.
With a lot of you.
But it's sad because y'all run people away from the church. And it's, I hear a lot of people say, well, the church ain't about nothing. It's not the church. It's the people in the church. But that's who make up the churches. So you run a lot of people away. You got the club.
One of the real big old churches.
Yeah, the club thicker than the church. And people are like, wow, why is membership falling off? Why y'all so nasty?
Okay. Ain't no judgment at the club.
Ain't no judgment. And it's, and even there, God said he came not to condemn, but to save them that which was lost. Like, it's so many people, y'all want to be so holier than thou, and y'all judge. Jesus fellowship with sinners. So I don't understand how y'all see homosexuals, and that's one of the sins that a lot of Christians want to dog so bad, but you ain't talking about the deacon sleeping with the secretary. Y'all ain't talking about it.
It's a lot of stuff going on in the church that be worse than the regular life out here. But people don't talk about it.
People don't talk about it. Everybody keep it quiet and everybody keep it hush-hush, and nobody addresses it. But you go home and you go in your friend circles and your social circles and you do speak on it. But we're just going to bring it to friend talk.
I just don't think, this is for me, this is my own personal view. I don't think that homosexuality should be talked about in the church at all.
And why not?
Because they condemn it so much, and half of the church sometimes be homosexual.
Yeah, I feel like this.
So I just feel like you talking about the people that's in your church and it make them feel a certain way. And that, again, like you said, that's why the church is losing people, because you got so many people that are homosexuals, lesbians or whatever, trans, all of that. And if my preacher talking about me, I'm not going to come.
I'm going to say this, friend. There are so many other things besides homosexuality that's labeled as a sin. And I feel like as a pastor or a preacher, it's your obligation to speak on whatever the Bible tells you or whatever God convicts you to speak on. Now, being dogmatic about it and bashing people because they've chosen a lifestyle, I feel like that's wrong, because you have some people who major on homosexuality.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about right there.
I can't get with that. I can't get with you majoring on any particular sin, because kind of
just do the Bible.
Just
there's so much in there to talk about. You ain't got to talk about that.
Yeah, I'm not going to condemn a pastor for speaking on it, but I'm saying I do have a problem when you are dogmatic. And it's not just homosexuality. Some people have a problem with women in ministry. I don't judge. Whatever you believe, that's you. I'm not here to debate scripture with anybody, but what I'm saying is y'all are not welcoming in the church.
And if you want more people to join church and be back into the church, you're going to have to be welcoming, because I ain't going nowhere that I ain't welcome.
And you can feel that. It's an energy. You can feel when you like when you go to somebody's house and they say, girl, come on in. And you actually feel it. And then you have some people that say, girl, come on in. You welcome to anything in there. But you don't feel that. Okay. You know what I mean? It's an energy behind it that has to be genuine in order for people to be drawn to your ministry. And it's a lot of people out here just faking it.
Faking it.
And they showing up on Sundays. And like I said, you feel like the fact that you've been here 15, 20 years gives you the right to treat people, newcomers or anybody, how you deem necessary to treat. Like, she ain't got no etiquette. Look at her coming in here with that on. And then you nasty.
Instead of pulling me to the side.
Instead of pulling the person to the side.
Let me know what etiquette should be.
Yeah.
Or this or that, because maybe, like I said, maybe I wasn't brought up in the church and I don't know. So
Exactly.
show me the way.
Stop using your Christianity as a license to treat people badly.
Because it ain't right.
It's not.
It's not right.
It's not. And some of y'all just too holy for your own good.
Except when it come to you.
Except when it comes to you.
Everybody else, you judge them and got to go by the book and go by the Bible, and God going to do this and God going to do that. But you could turn around and do the same exact thing, but you're lenient on yourself. You're not judging yourself. You want people to be lenient on you, but when you weren't lenient on the other person.
Not at all.
Not right.
I saw a quote one time that said, people are good judges for other people and good prosecutors or defense attorneys for themselves.
Yeah, because I'm going to defend me.
You're defending everything you do, but you don't give nobody else a pass.
Yep.
That's a problem.
Big problem.
Mm-hmm. And then to me, people who claim to be followers of Christ, he really called you to be a disciple. Disciple, the root word, discipline, we don't have none of that in the church. Except on Sunday. Like everybody knows how to show up on Sunday to get in character, to sing your hymns, pay your money, go home. And then when you get back to the house, what has changed?
We be worried about the wrong thing. You worry about how much Miss Betty tithing, how much you tithing, everything. It ain't got nothing to do with nobody. You don't know what Miss Betty's situation is.
You don't.
You don't know what my situation is. So just worry about what you tithe. Just give your 10 and go on about your business. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Me and God don't want to court. So you go about your business because me and the big guy don't want to court. He know what's going on with me. Okay?
And then folks they got a little what do you call it, friend? Where they have little different sects in the church and you got discipleship training and you got this and you got that. And who is doing the discipleship training? Because really, seriously, when you think about the word and discipleship, you got to exercise some kind of self-restraint, some kind of self-governance. You're going to always be on your piece as far as your conduct is concerned and as far as how you are knowledgeable, or you take the time to think about the words that you say before they come out your mouth and not just an afterthought. Well, you're going to have to forgive me. That's just how I am.
I ain't got to forgive. I almost cussed when we talking about church, so I did. I ain't got to forget nothing.
Yeah, Sister Clarice.
These names were, I gave a Betty Joe. Where you coming up with these names? Guinevere. I could go with Clarice.
You'll have to ask Tay about that one. I used to call her Lady Guinevere. I guess that's where they popped up.
And I've heard the name, but I just didn't know it was all black woman.
Yeah, it is.
But go ahead.
I was going to use Sister Verlene, but.
Now, I could go with Verlene.
You can go with Verlene.
I can go with Verlene. Okay. Jerlene, all that. Verlene, Jerlene, Merlene, you know. They triples.
Well, why y'all looking down on the non-believers, wouldn't it be funny on Judgment Day if they walk past you?
Like Christ did Cicero.
Because y'all have gotten so complacent and so comfortable with your titles and in your roles, and y'all feel like you really don't have to put any effort into your walk. That's what's most important. You know, how you show up in the world, not how you show up at the church. How you show up in the world.
In general.
How you treat the people in the grocery store. You know, some of y'all, I can't stress this enough. Y'all are nasty and you're rude. And people no longer take church serious.
Because of that.
And instead of your hypocritical ways and your judgy ways, y'all need to practice some. First of all, you need to practice some self-love. Because a lot of your problem is you haven't addressed your own issues.
No, that's true.
But you so busy preaching to everybody else how to address theirs. That's why the world can't take the church serious anymore. That's why I say
sweep around your own front door before you come over here.
And I love God.
You don't love God?
But some of his people
ain't right.
Y'all, it's sad because, you know, I always talk about humanity and loving people, and were you attempting to draw people, or you saying, you know, we need numbers in the church? It's so easy when you just love people.
It is. It is.
You know, and that's not to say go along with everything or don't preach the gospel, but stop being so human. Yeah, tap into your supernatural or something. You know, send up a few more prayers for yourself.
You better.
And
I'm sorry. Whenever it got back in my mind, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm so sorry.
And I am just convinced that it's so many people because everybody's like you said earlier, into fashion, and you want to bring parts of the world into the church, and you want to show up and you show off your Sunday best, and that's more what we're going to church for.
Yeah, because they're not going for the word. They're going because they look good, want people to see them and everything.
So
I am posting pictures every Sunday.
Yeah, I'm just convinced that a lot of y'all wouldn't even fool with Jesus like that.
They won't fool with him.
Yeah, they weren't, on my mama, because he didn't have all that.
He didn't.
He didn't have anything. He came very lowly. So the circles that you run in, he wouldn't have fit in.
True.
He wouldn't have fit in your circle because he didn't wear Gucci or Louis.
None of it.
And so y'all turning away the people that God called y'all to minister to.
I wouldn't fit in your circle either because I don't wear it either. But that's neither here nor there.
It's just, I ain't
gonna say it. I know. Because we saw you saying it.
Yeah. But Jesus was crucified by religious people. It was the religious people. You know, because they said he wasn't supposed to be practicing this on the Sabbath, and he's not supposed to be healing, and he's not supposed to be doing this, because they had their own set of rules. They had their religious beliefs and doctrines and their rituals that they practice. God is outside your box. He don't live in your box of rituals. He don't live in your box of showing up on Sundays only. Y'all have relegated the Holy Spirit to Sunday only, and I am sad for a lot of you.
It really is sad though, but we gotta you can show up on Sunday, that's true. Mm-hmm. But you gotta show up throughout the rest of the week too.
Yeah.
You know, not just at church, but you just, like she said, you gotta represent it all the time. Not just on Sundays.
All the time.
Now I don't go to church like I should, but again, God know my heart and we don't want to court.
And that's your
so he
business.
know me.
That's between you and God.
Yes.
And I feel like that's where a lot of people, we make the mistake of feeling like, you know, you have to go to church X amount of hours to get your
like going to beauty
your
school.
CEUs. You know,
like
you gotta go to church.
School.
Yeah, because you could show up every Sunday and go straight to hell.
That was a word there.
You can show up every Sunday because it's not what you do within the four walls of the church. How do you treat people outside the church?
That's what matters.
That's what matters. And so I'm only saying this because I love y'all. We as a people really need to do better. We need to stop using the church as a social gathering place. And if you're not going to actually become better and then do better, because you can't just be, the Bible told you can't just be hearers. You can't just be a hearer of the word, because what good is that going to do if you're not going to practice it? That's where your discipleship comes in. You have to practice. You know, you practice to become like the master of something.
True.
And so if you're practicing a religion, half y'all don't even know your Bible. You don't read it.
And I'm not condemning you because I don't either.
Yeah.
But,
you know,
don't preach it to me either if you don't know it.
Yeah. And I'm not judging. I'm just saying what I'm saying.
You know?
That it is something that we witness way too often. We go to work with people that profess Christianity. We, you know, deal with people in public places. And, oh, yeah, I'm minister at so-and-so, so-and-so. But you out here with just trying to holler at me. And you got a wife. Sir.
Go straight to hell.
You know what? I pray that you don't. I pray that you don't. I pray you make it in. But that means you're going to have to change. And see, people so quick to, you know, preach repentance to sinners or people who they deem as sinners. But a lot of y'all going to church every Sunday. Y'all need to repent. That means stop what you're doing. go the other direction. Follow Christ. And I'm not trying to preach to anybody.
It's funny though, but it's true.
I'm just saying what I'm saying. We can't be saying one thing and living
Another
something
way.
else. Because a lot of y'all,
Ain't that Barry White? Practice what you preach.
man, Barry said
That
something.
was Barry. Okay, I thought it was
That
Barry.
was Barry.
R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. Barry. But he said that. Practice what you preach.
Yes.
And stop focusing so much on folks' tithes that you don't care about their soul.
Mm.
Because a lot of y'all done made this a whole business out
They
here.
have, but some churches let them make it a business too.
And not that the church does not need funds. Not
They
that the
do.
church does not have to run, because absolutely, I believe in tithing. But I don't believe that your tithes going to be solely the thing that gets you into the gates. Because you can tithe every Sunday and still go to hell. If
Yeah,
you don't
yeah.
love people, because here's the thing, the greatest commandment God gave us was to love. He said, I don't care. All these commandments I done gave you, the greatest one is for you to love your neighbor as yourself.
Some of them ties make them compromise their integrity.
And do, friend.
So you got to be, just because you got a good tie, that don't mean nothing. And this other person, Sister Mary Clarence,
But you don't talk about my name, friend.
she might not tie but $50, but you got Brother Troy and his wife, they tying you $1,000, and you feel like since they giving you $1,000,
You can't speak on
they
what they
more
got going
important
on.
than Mary Clarence, and that's not true.
And you know what? If Mary Clarence gave $5, but her heart is right, that's a good member.
It is.
That's a good member.
She gave what she had,
She gave what
and
she
she's
had.
a good member to your church, and she follows the word.
It's a parable in the Bible about that. Lady gave the last that she had. Other people were giving. But it's not about the amount. It's because God really looking at your heart, people. It's not about, and that's only for people that believe, because I do realize that, some of you all might not believe in anything. And that's okay. That's your business. But I'm only talking about the people that show up in somebody's church or synagogue. Everybody don't necessarily go to church on Sunday. You got some Seventh-day Adventists and stuff like that. But
I used to have that word used to get me. That's Adventist. Used to give me.
Adventists.
Yeah, I knew a guy that went to the church. Mm-hmm.
A guy that was at church.
The church.
Mhm. Yeah, but it's not about what you got on. It ain't about what you put in the collection plate. It's about what's in your heart.
That's what's in you.
Stop showing up at people's church on Sunday and y'all ain't got no intentions of changing. You might well stay at the house.
They can't do that because they want a good look.
Because they want that status that comes with being a member at so-and-so church.
Yep.
I'm not mad at you for going to church. I'm not knocking you for going to church. All I'm saying is if you're going to go, don't waste your time. Let it do something to you. Let it change you for the better.
You got something good. Like, I love my church. Like the people. Because, like, we family.
Like
though,
a family.
So it's more family-oriented. So it's different than So I've never been to another church regularly, but I've seen it and experienced it when I visited other churches.
Man. Have you ever visited a church, friend, and you immediately were turned off by?
Yes.
Yeah.
But for me, it'd be bigger churches, because I'm so used to a small church community. So when I go to a bigger church, it's much different than what I'm used to. And I can see the cloud or the level of the people in the church by where you got them placed and where you got them this and that and the third.
Oh, you sound like my brother Derek.
But I've
We talk
seen
about
that.
stuff
But
like
like I said, I go to a smaller church, so none of that's in my church where the tithe this and tithe, what I'm saying? That we ain't got that. You just sit wherever, do whatever. But I've seen it in bigger churches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just tired of seeing people that profess, to know God and have relationship with God, because the world is watching y'all. I grew up in church my whole life. Half of my family, believe it or not, is in ministry.
You wouldn't believe it, would you?
Friend, what is that supposed to mean?
Nothing at all.
Did you just judge me?
No, I didn't. I was
Sounded
just
judgy.
saying that you wouldn't believe, and not just saying about you, but about somebody. Sorry. She
Yeah.
church family. Her mama is.
Oh yeah, she got a one-on-one connection with God. Like they're here. Yeah, and I have my own relationship with God. I am not perfect. I do not profess to be Sister Mary Clarence. I'm striving. I'm trying, you know. I got a lot more trying to do, but what I am saying is that I have enough wisdom, enough knowledge, and enough discernment. And I've been around Black people enough to see some nasty patterns. And we got to stop showing up on Sunday and saying, you know, condemning everybody who's not at church on Sunday, like you just got a first class ticket to the pearly gates just because you showed up.
Line to get in.
Yeah, there's gonna be some people passing up some folks that been in church every Sunday.
Because
you cannot determine somebody's relationship with God based on how often you see them in church.
If your heart ain't good,
it's impossible.
If you ain't got no good heart, it ain't.
Yeah, you might as well stay at the house. You might as well.
Might as well.
Don't be out here playing. And I think this is a bad time to just be playing for real. Because there's so much going on in the world. I think you need to, whatever you're doing, be for real about it. If you're in the street, be for real in the street. You know, because the Bible did say this. He'd rather you be hot or cold. Don't play with it. Don't be lukewarm with it. Be one or the other.
Either you is or you ain't.
Yeah. And if you're not, and you know you're not, and you don't have to admit anything to me and Mika, because who are we? But if you know you're not, stop condemning other people and work on yourself.
Point blank.
Also, guys, follow us on our socials. Hey,
what she said. Follow us on our socials.
IG, we're Fren_Talk_podcast. On Facebook, we are Fren Talk. Mika.
On TikTok, we are Fren Talk Podcast. On Snapchat, we are Fren Talk. Like, share, subscribe.
Yeah, y'all.
Tell your mama about us.
Go over there on YouTube and subscribe to our channel. Hit that bell for notifications. Y'all, also, if y'all don't mind, go over to Apple Podcasts and write us a review.
Yes.
Yeah,
you can listen to us on the podcast, and my friend loves listening to the one on the podcast. I like to see visual.
I like both.
She really likes the podcast.
I like the audio. Yeah.
I like looking at myself.
So do I, friend. But you know what? Sometimes it is kind of distracting. I want to hear the content more than I want to see. Because I know what you look like. I know what I look like. And we're usually pretty cute. No, but for real, guys, we love y'all. Anything we talk about on here is just our observation. We're not mad at anybody. We're not upset with anybody. We just talking about what we're talking about. And we hope y'all are mature enough to receive it.
We do.
Man, we get so much love in a beauty shop.
Everywhere. Off the subject before we go.
Come on, friend.
I went to a lunch, late breakfast lunch with some of my church members.
Come on, church members.
That I've been doing all my life. I was the youngest one there, of course.
Okay.
And one of the ladies brought up one of our podcasts to me, and it shocked me and embarrassed me at the same time.
Look, you see my eyes? I'm like,
I thought I had blocked her. But she said, no, you didn't block me. I said, okay then. Thanks for watching.
Friend, did she see you talking about a snow angel?
Snow angel. Then my auntie saw me talk about getting my tooth knocked out. So Lord, you know my heart.
Darlene?
It was doll.
We sorry, Auntie.
Auntie, you know I love you. You know I love you. But I'm 40, so.
We're grown.
I got my teeth though.
And you know what? And it's crazy because, listen, we want to normalize conversation around everything. Not just, because we talking about we're from the Bible Belt. 10, 11 years ago when my brother started the PC band and I was a part of the band, first thing my daddy was like, y'all gonna be singing gospel? Why y'all not singing gospel? And I love my daddy. Like, he's supportive, but we from the South and people here, if you ain't talking about Jesus.
And y'all singing that secular music.
But I know him and my mama wasn't getting 7 children listening to the Canton Spirituals.
There was some Halloween up in that one.
To Canton Spirituals. I love Harvey now.
She said shout out to the Canton Spirituals.
Yeah, man, I love it. I'm from the South. Yeah, I love quartet, gospel, all kinds of.
I love old school gospel though.
I love old school gospel. I love I love most music, most forms of music, but or most genres. Anywho, guys, thank y'all for tuning in. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Again, follow us on our socials. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Yes. And until next time, friend.
Peace.
Peace. And thank y'all,
Bye,
friends. Friends, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. We appreciate each and every one of you for taking time out to spend with us because we know y'all could have been anywhere else.
Help us grow our community and expand our reach. So if you're not already, please like, follow, and subscribe to keep up with us on YouTube, Facebook, and Snapchat at Fren Talk. That's FREN Talk.
Also, keep up with us on IG at Fren_Talk_podcast. That way, you'll be notified when we upload our weekly videos and to stay abreast of what we got going on. Of course, you can stream the podcast wherever podcasts are available, and please be sure to subscribe to the podcast feed. Also, set your alarms to tune in every other Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time for new episodes of Fren Talk. Over here where friends be what?
Talking.